November 28th, about 8 a.m. in the morning, and Daniel and I are on a food plot we call Northfield. And before we had time to get an interview out, before there's enough light, we spotted deer about 150 yards down towards the end. And one of them was Southpaw, our #1 hit list buck. Great to see he survived the rifle season. He was kind of with the doe, and he nudged her over to the brush, come back out, and started working up the edge. I thought we were gonna get a shot. Just kind of come back up in here, but he kept looking that way. I think the doe may have been over there. And about 70 yards out, he ventured off into the brush. So another piece of the story, the Southpaw, he's a solid 6.5 years old. This time of year, bucks tend to get on a food pattern. So we're gonna be watching these areas, hunting these food plots, and I believe before long, we'll have another encounter with Southpaw.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops, also by Reconyx, Trophy Rock, Eagle Seed, Nikon, Winchester, Lacrosse Footwear, Blood Sport Arrows, Flatwood Natives, Morel Targets, Caldwell Shooting Supplies, Books Custom Calls, Montana Decoy, Summit Tree Stands, Drake Non-Typical Clothing, House Lubricator, Genesis No-Till Drill, Yamaha, Fourth Arrow, Scent Crusher, iScope, Bone View, Mossy Oak Properties of the Heartland, Code Blue, Decode, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, and Redneck Hunting Blinds.
Let's head back to Arkansas to check in with Heath and Lindsey Martin. Several weeks ago, Heath harvested one of their top hit list bucks, and it seemed that buck was a bit of a bully. It appeared he was keeping most of the other bucks off the farm.
That is a 7 or 8 year old giant.
Tell him old Spindletop Jr.'s laying dead right here beside me.
So he's been the dominant deer around here this year, keeping all these bucks pushed out of these does.
He predicted that after tagging Spindletop Jr., other bucks would move back into the farm. But little did he know how quick they'd return. I've seen the same thing here at the proving grounds. You've got an area that a dominant buck is using, and if you tag that buck or he dies for some reason, another mature buck will move right in that habitat. He checked his trail cameras the night before firearm season, and just as he predicted, the day he took Spindletop Jr., well, that very same day, a buck they call Twin Towers had showed up, and they hadn't seen that buck or had any pictures of him in 4 weeks. Based on this MRI or most recent information and the wind direction they needed, Heath and Lindsey head to a redneck blind overlooking the Northfield where they had pictures of Twin Towers.
We're just about 5 minutes past daylight here, and Heath and I are are set up on the northern end of my family's property here in Arkansas. It's the first day of rifle season here in Arkansas, so generally in Arkansas these are really good days for deer movement. We always make a point to hunt this opening weekend. So we're set up over this bean field where we've been getting pictures of a buck, a mature buck that we call Twin Towers. We have pictures of 3 different mature bucks on the property, so if any of them step out, I'm going to try to get a shot at them, but we're going to sit here for the morning, see what we see.
They were seeing lots of critters, but Twin Tower didn't show. For the next couple of sets, Heath and Lindsey enjoy creation, see a bunch of critters, but no hitless buck. After not seeing much buck movement in the north field and a change of wind direction, Lindsey moves to her favorite stand.
Hang on. Matt. Right there.
You may recognize this location because last year, Heath and Lindsey took their #1 hitless buck, Pincher, from the same blind.
Big guy. It was a very warm afternoon, and they didn't see any movement until camera light was fading. Finally, a group of does appeared at the back end of the plot. After camera light was gone, they used their binos and saw a young buck aggressively chasing one of the does. It appeared they had a receptive doe in the area. Knowing there's a hot doe in the area and that they'd had pictures of Lone Star in that plot, they decided to slip back into the same blind well before daylight the next morning. They hadn't been in the blind long when they saw a doe feeding in the eagle beans. Then, several minutes later, they saw a large-bodied deer step right behind the doe. It's several minutes till daylight, but Heath can make out a large rack using his binoculars. It's not just any buck, it's Twin Towers. So now the stage is set. They've got a hitless buck and a receptive doe in front of them, and they just need a few more minutes for it to get a little bit lighter. Their hearts sank as the doe bounded out of the beans into the woods with Twin Towers following her. It seemed like the hunt for Twin Towers was over, at least for the morning. To their surprise, a little bit later, a doe walks right out in the middle of the beans, right in front of Redneck blind, and a little bit closer. Is this the same doe? Will Twin Towers be following soon? Sure enough, Twin Towers comes right out behind the doe. By now, it's getting brighter every second, and it's almost light enough to take the shot. in the scope, basically just counting down the seconds until I felt comfortable taking a shot on him and we had camera lights. So when I took him, he was almost outside of my shooting window, which meant we were gonna have to move the gun around, which is not what we wanted to do. But nonetheless, he paused and he decided this little batch of beans looked really tasty to him. And I am grateful for that. And so at the minute we both felt comfortable that we had light, I took a shot at him. I felt like he was quartering just a little bit too, not much. So anyway, I feel like I shot him right dead center of the shoulder. It sounded like a really good shot. We know he ran a little bit. But we think we heard him fall in this bedding area that we have right here. So if we've got him down, that is our second mature buck that we have harvested this year. And for our family farm, that's a big deal. That's a culmination of some habitat work that we've been doing over the past several years, so it's exciting. I'm surprised our cell phones aren't buzzing from the house up there.
With a massive deer season XP blood trail, it didn't take long to find Twin Towers.
Oh my gosh, he's right here. He's right there. Oh my gosh. Look at this guy. I know, look at this mass. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Wow. So we're not, he probably ran. I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, we're 40 yards from the blind. He kind of made a circle right here. If it had been just a little more daylight, we probably would have been able to see him fall. So, man, he gave us a really strong blood trail, that's for sure. You know, we already told you this guy came in before daylight. He was hanging out with a doe that was clearly hot, and he hung out just long enough for me to get a shot at him of daylight. So it was an awesome hunt. He is an awesome deer. Could not be more proud this morning and excited. So he's a big deer, that's for sure. We can hardly even get him moved around here. So again, could not be more excited about it. He's been going under a barbed wire fence. Man, he's got that backbone sticking out too. He's lost some weight.
Just like Heath's buck 2 weeks ago, they had sheds from Twin Towers. And that's a cool bonus when you've been hunting a buck a while, studying his habitat, and even have his sheds, and finally end up putting your tag on that deer.
Okay, that's good.
With Lindsey's dad helping out, they load the Twin Tower buck and celebrate the hunt. Congratulations, Heath and Lindsey, on another well-earned and tough to hunt Arkansas mountain buck. Here at the Proving Grounds, it's been all hands on deck, trying to help us harvest enough does to balance our deer population with the amount of quality forage we can grow. During Missouri's regular firearm season, the whole team chipped away at helping us meet our goal one tag at a time. We still needed to fill a few tags to meet our goal, so we took advantage of the late antlerless-only firearm season. Interns Wes Mason and Tyler McKinney headed to a new food plot we just created called Tombstone. Where's my last flagging over there? This just looks so cool right here. I mean, the natural boundary, because we got nothing but trash. A few months ago, we shared with you flagging out in the timber where we were going to remove some cedars and the steps we took to create the plot we call Tombstone. When it was all said and done, Tombstone ended up being the largest food plot here at the Proving Grounds, a whopping 12 acres. That's the largest flat area, at least what we call flat, on the Proving Grounds. Even though it's been wicked dry at the Proving Grounds, like the 6th driest November in 80 years of records, The 4-inch in Tombstone is the best quality food in a large block of timber.
It's a hot afternoon here in Missouri. Tyler has 1 tag and I have 2 tags to fill this afternoon in Missouri's airless rifle season. We got out here super early, hoping that this large food plot will be drawing deer in this afternoon. And Tyler and I are out here in the redneck on a scouting mission to find out where we have deer entering the plot so we can set up for an archery sit later in the season. But the bonus is that we get to use the rifle for this scouting mission. I have 2 tags, Tyler has 1 tag, so we're hoping to drop 3 does this evening.
The guys got settled in the blind, but they didn't wait long until deer entered the plot. Two deer entered the plot, and Wes waited for a good shot.
All right, there she is. Good. I'm on it. All right. GoPro's rolling. It's on. She going down or no?
She's down. She's down. Whew. She's down. Attaboy. Attaboy.
Lock and load for another. Where did it hit, did you see?
I don't know, but she's down right there.
Yeah.
The doe went down in the plot. Nice shooting, Wes. That was a long shot.
Whew, that get the heart bullet, baby. Okay, so everything's going according to plan so far. It's 3:45. Doe number 1 is down. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous. It was 280 yards, and this is only the 2nd deer I've shot with a rifle, so it was a little nerve-wracking, but Doe 1's down. I've got 1 more to go, and then Tyler's up.
Not long after the first doe was down, some more deer entered the plot. Wes's doe was like a magnet. We've seen this many times this year. The other deer went to check her out.
All right, I'm gonna range her and shoot. I think she's 270.
Now we're good.
You good?
Hold on, GoPro's rolling. Everything's good. She's slightly quartering away.
Yep.
One on the far left.
Far left. Here comes another one from the left. That big one running. She's big.
Yeah, that's a doe.
I'm going after her.
The one on the far right.
Far right. Now
She's
she's.
now in the middle.
Yep.
She's got the sunlight on her.
Yep. She's running.
She's coming this way.
Yeah, good. Yeah, keep coming, baby. Oh, yeah. Let me range her, and then she's going down. 260.
Two on the left are both big does. They're about the same size of doe.
I'm doing that one.
Okay.
Safety's off.
Okay.
You good?
Yep. Just got deer behind her. Very good.
Okay, I'm on her on the right.
Oh, I'm on it.
On the right.
Yep, on the right.
On the right. Here we go.
Here's Baghead looking towards us.
Yep.
Go.
Wes wisely waited for this doe to separate out so he could make a clean shot.
She's not going anywhere. Doe started piling into the field, and they all went straight to that down doe. And there were 5 deer. We believe there were 3 big does, and then there were 2 yearlings or button bucks. It's pretty tough to see from this distance, but we stayed on those big does, and I dropped one at 266 yards. So I'm tagged out for Missouri rifle, and Tyler's up to bat.
Great job, Wes. You're tagged out, and time to switch guns. Let Tyler take the Winchester, and you take the camera.
To the horizon. Can you film it? Put your legs closer together and raise the camera up.
Not long after the switch, Tyler spots another deer. This doe came out right in front of the blind.
I know. You just watch the deer.
Tyler quietly repositioned the field pod to another window.
Because I could shoot it with my bow right now. It's at 47 yards. And they're gonna walk right to us. Ready? Ready? Wait till that front leg steps forward. What in the heck? What's it looking at? Can you go to the left one? You on the left one? Right now? Ready? Deer down.
Dude, that was a complete money shot.
I don't.
Look at the other doe. We're right to it. We need to buy more tags.
I don't have another tag.
We achieved our goal tonight of tagging out here in Missouri. Wes and I did. So now we're on to the second part of our goal tonight here at Tombstone, and we're back to scouting. So we're going to see where the other deer come out so we can move some summits in here for late archery season.
Well done, Wes and Tyler. 3 more does towards our goal of reducing the herd a bit so we can produce enough quality forage and all deer can express their potential. Not only are we doing some deer herd management, but we're also working to reduce the number of predators. We've shared in the past that we trap every year here at the Proving Grounds. Each year we remove about 50 raccoons, possums, and coyotes from the Proving Grounds, and we've seen a marked increase in the number of turkeys that we can chase. Each fall, our interns get to learn several field skills, including trapping. A lot of these skills simply aren't taught at most of the universities these days. A few days ago, Daniel taught Tyler how to locate a good trap site and to set a Duke cage trap.
This location, just like deer hunting, we got, travel corridor. We got a lot of roads coming together. We've got several food plots out in front of us, back behind us. So a lot of edge where predators like to travel those edges looking for food. We've got a creek. Thermals are going to be coming down the mountain and sucking down the creek just like they do when you're deer hunting. So when we're setting our trap locations, we want to be on the uphill side so the thermals are blowing the scent of the bait across the road and down the creek. First thing is we kind of make the bed of the trap. So usually take the trap and scoot it all the way back. And I'm okay with that backing there, but I don't want to set this trap back in the woods here. I want it right here as a visual attractant. I'm fine with it being out in the open. Got a good backing, and then I'm gonna check, and I don't want any wobble in that, because if it's got any wobble to it, they'll back out and leave the trap unsprung. So it's really key that we get this trap level and stable. Want to make sure there's no rocks sticking up through those holes, or sticks, anything that's going to cause that pan not to drop. There's a lot of different things you can use for bait, but one of our favorites that we've found is buy a cheap, meaty, oily, smelly cat food and a can of mackerel. All right, so Tyler, we're just going to take a handful of cat food. I'll put some in there, not putting a lot. We're not trying to feed this raccoon for a week. We just want to get him in the trap. So just need a little scent in there. And then I'll take that other half of cat food and I'll just sprinkle it right across the road, just like that. Then I'll take some, I'll go that way in case he's coming across that road there. And I'll just go ahead, throw some back that way. Not doing a lot. I just want them, if they're coming through, I want them to hit that scent, that smell, stop, and then hopefully get that really loud smell from the mackerel, bring them right in. So I'll do it out here. So if I drop any, it's right there out in front, a little smell. I'll dribble a little in there. We'll just set the can down. That way it can last throughout rain, snow, whatever. That food not wet, that scent stays in there, just keeps it covered.
After a little instruction, it was time for Tyler to actually set the trap.
So like this is going to get in the way of, the door shutting. So I'm breaking all this, clearing that door out. Still dig it a little more, get a little deeper in there. Make sure it's level and not tilted up and down. Take a handful and go that way, right across the road. There you go.
Tyler set several traps that day, so we were all excited the next morning to run our trap line.
First raccoon. It's a big one. Well, out running the trap line this morning, checking Tyler's work. Looks like he did a great job. We've got our first predator of the 2017 trapping season. Tyler's enjoyed hunting season during the fall here, hunting deer, but what we're really working for today is spring turkey season. We're moving a nest predator, hoping that this spring more poults can enter our turkey population. Well, we're gonna take care of this raccoon. Tyler's gonna rebait, and hopefully he has his next predator soon.
Since then, Tyler's caught several more raccoons and is well on his way to becoming an efficient trapper. Tyler never set traps before, and we like to start new trappers with the Duke cage trap. You're not going to mash your fingers, it's super easy to set and has a high rate of success.
Beautiful pelt, Tyler. The tail's kind of blondish a little bit, a little lighter in color. What are we at? 14. 14? Yep. Good start to the year. Awesome.
Techniques during the late deer season or even the start of trapping season are different than the rest of the seasons. If you want to stay current on the techniques we use to manage and hunt wildlife throughout the year, subscribe to the Growing Deer channel. It's always fun to introduce other folks to new things out in creation, but most importantly, we want to take time every day to be quiet and listen to what the Creator is saying to us. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.